going on, PGA DFS fans? Thanks for joining me, Jason Rouslin, on another one of my Stokastic short-form YouTube videos here on, of course, the Stokastic YouTube channel, sponsored by PrizePicks. Well, I'll tell you about it in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to get into the top 5 sleepers here for the Genesis Scottish Open. An incredibly strong field. In fact, by far the strongest field that this event has ever had has assembled, and they are heading to the Renaissance Club there in North Berwick, just about 2 hours south of the Open Championships venue, St. Andrews, and I'd say about 45 minutes south of Edinburgh, one of the biggest cities there. So what we're going to do here is give you the top 5 sleepers. I'm going to go over PrizePicks for just a couple of minutes and a couple of other housekeeping stuff. So let's jump right in. We're going to go to the bottom of the board. And it was just about 4 years ago where Rickie Fowler was the highest priced golfer in the Scottish Open field when I was over there watching this event at the course Dundonald that was at this year. Now he's 6,900 and nobody cares to own him at 2%. So for me, as Fowler's been over there for almost a week now, partying and having a great time with Spieth and Thomas and the boys, hope that maybe spur him on to have a good week here and maybe get himself a couple of more starts going forward on the PGA Tour, that is. Now, he is in a precarious position here as he's playing mostly under sponsors exemptions and all that, as his stats this year haven't been great as we look at his strokes gain rank, 144 off the tee, 100 on the approach, 26 around the green. But what I'm most concerned about is 164th putting. That is going to have to change this week if he's going to make any noise. But at 2% owned and 6,900, I think there's a viable reason to give him a few shares this week. Now, moving on to another 2% owned golfer. Actually, most of these guys are, except for Joaquin Nieman, who's the last. We'll get to him in a minute here. Excuse me. Min Woo Lee is the defending champion of this event. Also has a 30th place finish here at the Renaissance Club. So as you can tell, Min Woo loves this golf course. He also came in 27th at the U.S. Open a couple of weeks ago. Also made the cut at the Masters. So certainly becoming a name on the global stage. But he has not played enough rounds over on the DP World Tour this year to give us statistical information. So we're going to skip him in his statistical information for this week and say Min Woo Lee, good course fit, good form, and should be in play here at just 2% owned. Now this next golfer, Alex Noren, he's packed in with a bunch of golfers that are going to be highly owned and and for right reasons, don't get me wrong, as he's packed in. He's got Harold Varner right above him, who's very popular. Christian Bezidenhout coming off a runner-up finish last week at the John Deere Classic right there. Sebastian Munoz, who has played fantastic recently, also right there. And even going down to Aaron Rai, who's part of our top 5 value videos. Check that out if you haven't already. Also right there. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is Alex Noren is going to come in around 3 or 4% owned. Now, he hasn't played at this course the last couple of years, been focusing on the PGA Tour in his starts over there. So it'll be interesting to see him come back to the DP World Tour and see how he does at this course that you really don't have to be that good of a driver on. Now, when we look at his strokes gain rank and see why I like that, he's ranked 95th off the tee, 67 on the approach, 97 around the green, and 21st putting. So a decent season for Noren, who should be around 3% owned. Now we're going to go up to Scotland's own Robert Macintyre, who's also in this range at 7,600. And for some reason, everybody else wants to play all the other golfers that are priced similar or a little bit cheaper. And for me, that's fine because he gets up for this event and next week's event more than any two on the calendar. He's coming 18th and 14th here in the last 2 years. And while his form isn't great this season, Macintyre still has a lot to build off of. Look at his strokes gain rank on the season, 87th off the tee, 69 on the approach, 81 around the green, and 27 putting. So he's pretty much average to good in all of the categories and doesn't really have a weak point. I love that about certain golfers, and Macintyre is one of them. The southpaw from Scotland, I expect him to have another good start here this week. All right, now, top sleeper, one of the only 2 golfers above $8,000 that is going to be under 10% owned this week, or at least projected to be that way right now, is Joaquin Nieman. Not playing all that good right now. A missed cut at the Travelers, 47th at the U.S. Open, certainly some of his worst form in the recent season. Hadn't missed a cut since the Honda Classic before missing it at the Travelers, so a little interesting there. Now, it's going to be 8% owned because of it, but we look at his strokes gained rank. If we take out the recent form and just look at strokes gained, man, he would be very highly owned at 8,700. Strokes gained 13th off the tee, 44 on the approach, 23rd around the green, and 88 putting for Joaquin Nieman this season, as he should find the weekend again here this week at the Scottish Open and get his form back on track. All right, that's going to do it for the top 5 sleepers. Fowler, Minwoo Lee, Alex Noren, Robert Macintyre, Joaquin Nieman are the 5. I'll go over a couple of household things thanks to PrizePicks, the sponsor of this short form video here on the Stokastic YouTube channel. If you haven't played over there, well, head on over to PrizePicks.com or through the Google App Store or the App Store on Apple, of course. And what you're going to do and find over there, well, first, let's make a deposit and use promo code AWESOMO. You're going to get up to $100 free or matched there. And then secondly, what you're going to do is you're going to pick 2 to 5 props. They can be props from all different sports. In fact, PGA, tennis, MLB, CSGO, NBA Summer League if you're into that, WNBA, soccer, and so much more offered on PrizePicks. So, for example, when I started the videos this morning, around 8:30, Tiger Woods had yet to tee off in the JP McManus Pro-Am. They boosted him down to just 1 birdies or better. You had to take the over or the under on that one. If you got it correct, well, you needed to match that up with 1 other of the props, and you'd win 2x your money. And if you pick 5 other props, you can win up to 10x your money on PrizePicks. So check them out, and thank you for the sponsor to them. Okay, lastly, we've got 2 shows. If you're watching this before 1 o'clock on Tuesday, the strategy show with Eric and Ben. If you are not or weren't able to catch that, catch it on playback or join Ben Raz and I for our Live Before Lock show on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. It'll almost feel like a true Live Before Lock, as lock will only happen just a few hours after our show ends. So join us for those. Thanks for joining this one, and good luck this week at the Genesis Scottish Open. We will see you next week for the big one, the Open Championship. See you on the other side, everybody. Cheers.